What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here with our WWE Day 1 review for January the 1st, 2022. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Hope you had yourself a fun time. This show was a show. Now, we have to talk about the elephant in the room first. The fact that Roman Reigns was not on the show. Roman Reigns actually tested positive for COVID. Now, that sucks. I hope everything with him, his family, and everyone is okay. But this show definitely hurt from not having Roman Reigns on the show. Now, what does that do for Brock Lesnar then? The simple answer is Brock Lesnar goes into the WWE Championship match and makes that a fatal 5-way. So now WWE has one less match and only pretty much one thing they could do that made any sense. And that was how Brock Lesnar win. And then we get to WrestleMania and we have ourselves I would say a triple threat match for both titles, because you're going to have a Royal Rumble winner. And the Royal Rumble winner, or you could do, I have an even better one. And this is going to suck for the women because you're not getting a main event this year. WrestleMania is 2 nights. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns is on night 1. The winner of Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns then goes to night 2 to face the Royal Rumble winner. It's sort of like New Japan, what New Japan is doing with the with unifying all of their world titles together. Kazuchika Okada has the old IWGP World Heavyweight title. Shingo Takagi is the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Will Ospreay says he's still the official champion. So on night 1 and 2 of Wrestle Kingdom, here in about 3 days, in 3 and 4 days, it's going to be Takagi versus Okada, and then the winner of that goes on to face Will Ospreay. So to determine who is the rightful World Heavyweight Champion for New Japan. So basically, that is what WWE could do here. You have Brock and Roman, WWE and Universal Champion, all the way to WrestleMania. The winner of the Royal Rumble is who the fuck knows right now. We'll talk about something what they talked about the Royal Rumble here later. And the winner of that goes to WrestleMania on night 2. Brock Roman night 1. The winner goes on to face the winner of the Royal Rumble on night 2. And you have yourself the one and only WWE Champion. No Universal Champion. It's time to end this fucking brand split. They are cutting so much talent over the last 2 years that there is no need for a brand split. Now, I understand, back in 2016, you had a bigger roster. You had more tag teams. You had more women. You had more, just more of everything. But in 2019, 2018, you had more. Because, yeah, they made the usual cuts, 3-4 people, and then AEW started, and then they wanted to sign everybody. And keep everybody. So, now, over the last 2 years, they've been cutting everybody. And there's no need for Raw and SmackDown to have 2 brands. Or, if you want to keep the brand splits, just do what you did at the beginning of the original brand, the brand extension back in 2002. One champion who can go on Raw and SmackDown. Whatever way you want to go, that's what you need to do. But, yes, Brock Lesnar goes into the WWE title match tonight in the main event, is your new WWE champion. And honestly, I might be one of the few people who says this. That was a fun car crash of a match. I don't know how long it lasted, but this is a Brock Lesnar match. But yeah. It was a show. It was absolutely a fucking show. So no Roman Reigns, you should think that outside of the main event, which, honest my opinion, they absolutely stepped up in the main event for the WWE Championship to give you at least something to talk about by the end of this show, because you had Holland and Sheamus versus Zoran and Ricochet. The only thing coming out of that match is Ricochet broke Holland's nose trying to go for a 450, a standing 450 landing foot first onto Ridge Holland's nose. Ridge Holland didn't wrestle the rest of that match. And instead of calling an audible and having Sheamus lose to Cesaro and Ricochet because it's 2-on-1, so Sheamus beat Cesaro and Ricochet by himself. So why don't you just bury those two while you're at it? Then we had the New Day versus the Usos. Now, this was a pretty good match. The Usos, New Day, we've seen it time and time again. These two teams, when you see these two teams, you know you're always going to get something great because these two teams want to go out there. And I think it's been like that since the SummerSlam 2016 or 2017, when I believe they were both on the, it was a tag team match between them guys, I believe on the kickoff show. And they went out there and they stole the show because they felt disrespected. They didn't need to be on there. But yes, that is what you get every single time. These two teams always want to go out there and prove to you that they are absolutely the best of the best. And that's what you got in this match too. They killed it. It was great. It lasted 17 minutes and 5 seconds. These guys just went out there. It's like it's like you don't really want to go play by play or anything on a New Day match versus Uso match because you've seen it once before. You've seen it 1,000 times. It was a really good match. Not much bad about it at all. Usos pick up the win, retain. This was the biggest shocking moment of this match. They didn't win with the double Us. They didn't win with a submission because they were working on Kofi's previously injured knee. They won with the 3D. They actually used the 3D, which I didn't expect at all, and they picked up the win. So, damn good match. They regroup in the middle of the ring. Of course, Pat McAfee's calling their version of the 3D the 1D because they know we're the ones is the gimmick that they do with Roman Reigns. So, yeah. Overall, good opener. These two, if you're going to have these guys open a pay-per-view every time, this is what you want to do. Of course, throughout the night, we had talent. The talent in the main event ask about what they thought about Brock Lesnar being added to the match. So that was a theme for the night. Kevin Braxton is backstage with Migo, Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff. I don't know who Migos is. I really don't care who Migos is. Moving on. Talk about a match nobody gave a shit about. Madcap Moss versus Drew McIntyre. This match went way too long. This match should have been over in about 60 seconds. Madcap cracks a joke or laughs at the crowd, turns around, gets hit with the Claymore. 1, 2, 3. That's how it should have been. But the fact that Drew, they had these guys come out there and have Madcap tell his shitty ass jokes, laugh as if they're funny or something, which they are not. They are not funny. Again, the only people who actually think these jokes are funny are Vince, Bruce, and John Laurinaitis, and Michael Cole, because Michael Cole was caught laughing at them when they first started doing them. So, of course, Drew comes out with his sword. They have the match. Corbin's talking trash. Now, there was a part of me thinking this could go either one or two ways. It should have went one or two ways. One, Drew wins in about 30 seconds, and that's all of that. Or two, they're going to go long. Madcap's going to win because Baron Corbin's going to distract and cause a loss for your boy, Drew McIntyre. They didn't do either of those. And Madcap eats a Claymore. Not else you need to say about this. We see Sarah Schreiber. She stops Kevin Owens. He's asking about Brock Lesnar being added to the match. Says it's a travesty of a tragedy, whichever one you want to pick. Said it's never should have happened. Owens goes on about how Bobby Lashley and Lesnar were both added to the match when they didn't belong. He looks forward to he and Seth working together and then dealing with the bully Lesnar. He mentions that Lesnar did what he recently did to his best friend, his soulmate, Sami Zayn. So he's definitely going to have to do something about that as well. And he needs to go talk to Seth Rollins, and he walks off. Raw Tag Team title match. The Street Profits versus the RK Bro with Migos with them. This match went about 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Another really solid match here. I don't know what it is with Atlanta tonight, but it seems like there was just not enough energy from this crowd. When you watch a show and you want to have a high energy, when you have a high energy crowd, the show feels different. It feels like it's not going to be lower than a C. This crowd tonight just couldn't, like, I don't know. It seems like they just didn't give a shit about next to nothing. I mean, Liv Morgan was in a women's championship match later in the show, and it's like the crowd was dead when she's supposed to be the sentimental favorite. The fans love Liv Morgan, apparently, but not in Atlanta, apparently not. Of course, crowd pop for Migos, because it's Migos. Again, I don't know who the fuck they are. I never heard of Migos until now. I'm not a music buff. I listen to things from like the early 2000s, the 80s, the 90s, you know, stuff like that. I don't know who the fuck Migos are. Moving on. So, when it comes to the Street Profits and RK Bro, it's like, with what they're doing with RK Bro and the Alpha Academy, there's no way the Street Profits are winning this match. There was just no way. You have the Alpha Academy, you have them poking at Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. Otis, until last week, kept dodging the RKO week after week. It just feels like that's where we're going to be heading for a WWE Raw Tag Team title change. Probably at the Royal Rumble or in Saudi Arabia. So that Matt Riddle and Randy Orton can have a match with each other at WrestleMania. I feel that's where we're going with this. That these guys are going to eventually break up. Orton's going to be the big nasty heel. He's going to go after Matt Riddle and go out there and take the match happens at WrestleMania. So, good match here. Street Profits fought as well as they could. Migos, of course, hyped up the fact that Orton is going in there, beating up on the Street Profits. Orton comes back and rocks Ford, then takes it to the top for a superplex. Ford resists and headbutts Orton to the mat. Ford leaps off the top, and he has to roll through as Orton moves. Well, Riddle runs in and blocks Ford, lifting him up and dropping him into a big double team RKO for a big pop. Orton covers 1, 2, 3. RK Bro pick up the win, and that is that. After the match, Migos comes into the ring, and the Street Profits actually got respect from the champs. So that is something you don't see every day. Orton's playing into a different, a cool babyface side for now, but you know it's all gonna come back. And when this team breaks up, it's gonna be Randy Orton who turns heel on Matt Riddle and takes it to WrestleMania. Back in the back, Mega Man stops Drew McIntyre, who ends up getting beat up by Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin. Corbin orders Moss to wrap a chair around Drew's head. Moss then slams a piece of rigging onto it. Moss and Corbin retreat as officials call for help, as Drew McIntyre has to struggle for air. Taylor Braxton knocks on Brock's door. He grabs the microphone and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brock Lesnar, and I do what I want to do when I want to do it because I'm a free agent and I'm free thanks to my advocate, Paul Heyman." Lesnar goes on and says he will go to the ring tonight and walk out as the new WWE Heavyweight Champion of the world, and that's not a prediction. That, my friends, is a spoiler. Winks to that crowd, to the camera, and that is that. So, now, I know WWE, they tried so hard to protect the main event they were supposed to have tonight. They took Roman Reigns off of live events over the last weekend. You didn't see Roman Reigns except for on SmackDown the last few times because they needed him and Brock, and Paul Heyman was going to get involved somehow tonight, and it just didn't work out. So I don't know what they're going to do with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns coming out of what happened tonight and everything else, but we'll have to wait and find out. Here's the one match tonight I don't think anyone gave a shit about. Edge versus The Miz. Miz and Maurice come out first. Then Edge, just like he did, I believe, at SummerSlam, came out to the Brood music, the Ring of Fire, up from the ramp, up in the middle of the ramp. Stopped, took his glasses off, bent down, came back up with his music played and all that jazz. Probably the biggest highlight of this match until Beth Phoenix made her appearance. Which, yeah, that looked so bad. Like, I mean, Beth looked great. I don't know what she's been doing. Maybe she's getting a couple extra 2-a-days into something, not working in NXT anymore. But they're having the match, and of course, Maurice is trying to help her husband put his foot on the rope, get like the refs, like distract Edge, distract the ref, everything they could to try and get Miz to win. Then Miz distracts the referee. Maurice slaps Edge, allowing Miz to hit the skull-crushing finale, but Miz only got 2. Maurice gets up on the apron. She's complaining. She turns back around. She points towards the aisleway area, and there is Beth Phoenix just standing there with this. She's like seething and pissed off, and just standing there and doing nothing but having a pissed off look on her face and breathing hard for what felt like 5 fucking minutes until her music finally hit. Then she walked to the ring. Then she chased Maurice off, and then she distracted the Miz, allowing Edge to hit the spear 1, 2, 3, and that was that. It looked very bad. This match went 20 fucking minutes. This match did not need to go 20 fucking minutes. Nobody gave a shit about Miz. Nobody gave a shit about this match at all. Everyone popped, of course, when Beth Phoenix showed up. Everyone popped for the Brood music because nostalgia berries. But this did not need to go 20 minutes. This was the longest match of the night. So, yeah, Miz loses thanks to Beth Phoenix. And clearly we're getting a mixed tag team match. Edge, Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. Make that at the Royal Rumble, please. I don't need to see Miz versus Edge and Miz and Maurice versus Beth and Edge at WrestleMania. That is honestly a waste of both Beth. Honestly, it's a waste of the Miz, Beth, and Edge, because Maurice should not be in the ring whatsoever. She has never been a wrestler. She sucks in the fucking ring, and I do not want to see her. So that is what we had to think about Edge. More segments between, Kevin Patrick catches up with Bobby Lashley and MVP. Bobby Lashley vows to win the WWE Championship and be the first and not leave the first day of 2022 without the WWE title. Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. Man, oh man, I wish I could be sitting here ready to tell you that Liv Morgan is the new Raw Women's Champion. But if you just watch the shows over the last few weeks, they missed the boat with Liv Morgan in the first title match. Liv should have won the first one. Liv wins the first. They have some kind of fuckery tonight. And then they have the rematch at the Royal Rumble, where Becky Lynch wins the Raw Women's Championship again, so she can go to WrestleMania as the Raw Women's Champion, because you know that WWE wants the biggest match they can have. But unfortunately, that's exactly like Liv Morgan did not win tonight. They missed the boat on Liv Morgan. It sucks. It really sucks. Liv Morgan, again, I don't know what the fuck was with the crowd tonight, but nobody cared about this match. Like, if you go back to when Liv Morgan faced Carmella. I think that was at SummerSlam this year, or one of those pre-show matches. And listen to the crowd and how they were fully behind Liv Morgan. And it's as if they wanted Liv Morgan to be in the SmackDown, or Raw, I think it was a SmackDown Women's title match that night. The crowd was so hot for Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was the hottest she had ever been, momentum-wise. And they just wouldn't pull the trigger. She was the hottest she could be going into that title match 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, when she took on Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw. They even had the Liv girl, the girl in the blue sweater, who was shown multiple times cheering for Liv Morgan hoping Liv Morgan would win and then get upset when Liv lost by cheating. That was when you needed to pull the trigger. Any other time, it's too little, too late. Liv Morgan's done. Liv Morgan is not the Raw Women's Champion. Liv Morgan will never be the Raw Women's Champion. She got beat clean as a whistle. Now, the first half of this match, Liv Morgan was all over Becky Lynch. She was countering everything. She had her number on everything. And then Becky was able to turn it back around. She had the number of Liv after that. She was beating up Liv left and right, back and forth. And then Liv went for a dive on the outside, landing on Becky, and Becky's head smacked the fucking pavement itself. It looked like it was nasty. This match went 17 minutes. This was the second longest match of the night, by the way. Oh no, it wasn't. This is the third longest match because the tag team title match was 5 minutes. Was 5 seconds longer. But just beating each other up. Now Liv pulled off an awesome, she had Becky Lynch sitting in the turnbuckle, backwards on the turnbuckle, and she was able to flip over, grab her, and powerbomb her for a very close 2 count. That looked fucking awesome. Unfortunately, when everything came down to it, Becky stopped Liv from using her finish, hit her with the manhandle slam. 1, 2, 3. Now, when they showed the replay, Becky was trying to get her foot onto the rope, which I think was supposed to fucking happen. Becky was going to try and get leverage by getting her foot on the rope where the ref couldn't see her, but she didn't get her foot on the rope. So you can't have Liv on Monday come out and be like, you cheated once again. I got robbed twice. You got beat clean as a whistle. That's all you can say about that. Liv Morgan got beat clean as a whistle. It would not surprise me if Liv Morgan, after the Royal Rumble time's over, is future endeavored when WWE is cutting more talent, because you know it's going to happen. They want to get out with the old and in with the new eventually, and they want to start bringing those NXT talent up that are still young that could be used to make this roster look a lot younger. So Liv done. Nothing else you can do about it. What else can you say? It really sucks because everything you've seen over the last 9-10 months, Liv Morgan. Since Ruby Riott got released, Liv Morgan, fans have gotten behind Liv Morgan time and time and time again. Up until she lost by getting screwed on that Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago. And then tonight, it's like the fans just didn't care because they knew Liv wasn't winning. It's like Atlanta knew Liv wasn't winning because it's like, what's the point of cheering when you know she's not going to win? That's the problem that they don't seem to know. They don't seem to get. Fans catch on and they start realizing, yeah, Becky's gonna win this match. Why should we even give a shit if we cheer for Liv? It doesn't matter because she's gonna lose. That's what it felt like tonight, because nobody booed, nobody cheered, nobody cared about this match. Not like the last time these two had a title match. That fucking crowd was hot. That crowd wanted Liv to win so goddamn badly. And when you took the rug and pulled it out from underneath them and had Becky win by cheating, it was like, okay, it's a way to get to day one so they can have a title match and Liv can win there maybe. No, and then Liv lost clean as a whistle. So there's nothing else you can say. Liv Morgan, as a title contender, is done. It wouldn't surprise me if going into the Royal Rumble, it's Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair again and again and again. I see no reason for them to go back to Liv Morgan. She lost clean. WWE title match: Seth Rollins, Big E, Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, and Kevin Owens for Fatal 5-Way for the WWE title. This match went 8 minutes and 25 seconds, and it was a car crash of epic proportions. If you were watching this match and you're somebody who sits there and does commentary or something, you were probably sitting there trying to... I could not do this match blow for blow. because it was 8 minutes of absolute carnage. It was like Seth and Kevin beginning early on in the match were trying to clean house. Brock Lesnar at the start of the match was suplexing everybody. Suplexing Seth, suplexing Big E, suplexing Seth, tried to suplex. Bobby Lashley was on the outside, him and Big E got into it. Set like suplex. Bobby Lashley spears Brock Lesnar through the barricade. Bobby Lashley gets slammed through the announce table by Big E after Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens attempted to, but failed. Just everybody going after each other left and right, 5 million times a second. It what do I want to say? An auctioneer would not be able to keep up with how crazy fast this match was going. Just over and over. You had Seth Rollins trying to go for a stop towards the end of the match. Fucking F5 from Brock Lesnar. Big E eats a Big E eats a F5. Kevin Owens eats an F5. F5, you get an F5, you get an F5, everybody gets an F5. Big E gets a big ending on Bobby Lashley. He goes for one on Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar counters that, hits him with an F5 again. 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar wins the WWE Championship. And Big E's shitty, terrible title reign is over. I feel bad for Big E because when they gave him the title, the WWE title, it was for a ratings boost. They had no plans to actually give him a worthy title reign. Big E deserved better in the title picture, but he never really got to be able to show us that he could be a great champion. It was just this was, if I'm correct, Big E's one and only title defense that was on the in the main event. Everything else was low tier card, and it only happened because Roman Reigns got sick with COVID. And I'm not surprised they put the title on Brock Lesnar. Does it suck? Yes, it does suck. But they really didn't seem to care. They gave Big E the WWE Championship because they hit the panic button knowing our ratings are going tanking. They suck. We need to do something. Give these fans something that they want to see instead of holding on to that title, holding on to that briefcase going into WrestleMania, where Bobby Lashley should have been WWE Champion going into WrestleMania. Somebody else challenges Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Big E comes out with this briefcase during that match and pulls a Seth Rollins and wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania night 1, night 2, doesn't fucking matter, whenever the title match was going to be. But WWE had to get a big time good feel moment, and then everything after that just didn't seem to give a damn about Big E. It's like nothing, and honestly, it's what this is gonna suck. Kofi Kingston had a more memorable title reign in the two members who held it for the New Day. Yes, Big E had a longer title loss with Brock Lesnar winning than Kofi, but Kofi went up against, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe. Didn't he go up against AJ Styles at one time too? I could be wrong there. Maybe even Kevin Owens. But who did Big E go up against? Bobby Lashley. Drew McIntyre. Even though Drew McIntyre was going to SmackDown the next day. Just nothing felt like Ricky's championship reign just felt like they didn't care. Okay. I could compare Big E's title, Money in the Bank briefcase win to when Dolph Ziggler won it. Because they said, fine, Dolph Ziggler, go out there, cash in and win the WWE Championship. The World Championship. And somebody, I think it was Vince McMahon or something, went back there and said, we're not pushing Dolph. He's going to win the championship, but we're not going to push him. That's what Big E's championship reign felt like. Of course, his title reign lasted a hell of a lot longer because he wasn't injury prone like Dolph Ziggler at the time who got a concussion. But that's what it felt like, as they said, we're going to get this big moment, but we're not going to invest in you at all. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that Roman... Now, the biggest question is, what does this leave for WrestleMania? we have what was supposed to happen between Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar tonight did not happen. We don't know what that was going to be. That got tossed and thrown out the window. Obviously, it was going to be Roman Reigns probably retaining tonight. Brock Lesnar probably winning the Royal Rumble for, a second time? Or he hasn't won the Royal Rumble, has he? Has Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble? I don't think so. So, I think, yeah. No, he did. He won the 2009. He won the 2003 Royal Rumble, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure he won the 2003 Royal Rumble. So, it would be Brock Lesnar probably winning the Royal Rumble. Of course, going for Roman Reigns once again because they're not getting Mr. The Rock anytime soon. Rock's not going to be in Dallas. The closest they're going to get The Rock probably would be next year in Hollywood. So, yeah. What's going to happen? Do not know. All I know is this company has got to do something. And I pitched it at the beginning of this. Who would be how to do this perfectly? Brock Lesnar keeps the title going into WrestleMania. Roman Reigns keeps his title going into WrestleMania because Brock Lesnar is WWE Champion now. They have absolutely nobody on SmackDown who is worthy of facing Roman Reigns and taking that title off of Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar was the only guy, and without Brock Lesnar being the guy that can do that now, they have nobody. I mean, yes, he'll probably take on Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Roman will, of course, be cleared by the Royal Rumble. I'm sure he's I'm sure he's got his shot and he's triple boosted or whatever. But Roman Reigns will be back in time for the Royal Rumble. He'll probably defend against Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar keeps his title, probably defends against Big E in a rematch, 1-on-1 this time. Then, if you're going to do it, have whoever wins the Royal Rumble. Bobby Lashley can win the Royal Rumble. I do not care who wins the Royal Rumble right now because, honestly, there's nobody who's worth a damn to win the Royal Rumble. Because they're going to probably go to WrestleMania and it's probably going to be them picking Roman Reigns and losing to Roman Reigns. But here's what you do. And I pitched it earlier, I'll pitch it again. Brock keeps his title, Roman keeps his title. We have 2 nights of WrestleMania. Night 1, Brock versus Roman. Winner takes all. Not winner takes one, winner takes all. Unification for the WWE and Universal Championships. Get rid of that cursed title, the Universal title. The only 2 people to have any successful title reigns were Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns this time around, minus the COVID scare right now. Then the winner of the Royal Rumble gets to get the winner the next night. That could be Bobby Lashley. If Brock beats Roman, which I doubt, you get Brock versus Bobby, which Bobby Lashley has been wanting Brock Lesnar since the day he signed on the dotted line. It wouldn't be surprised to me if he signed on his contract and was like, can I get a match with Brock Lesnar before I retire, before this is up? I'm sure he's been calling for Brock for years. So if you wanted to go down that route, you could. Or you could have I don't know. Other than other than Bobby Lashley winning the Royal Rumble, if Drew McIntyre and Big E are going to challenge Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar for their titles at the Royal Rumble, who else is even worthy of winning the Royal Rumble but Bobby Lashley? There ain't nobody I can think of. So, honestly, I think it's going to be Bobby Lashley winning the Royal Rumble, and then he gets the winner of the unification match on night 2. And that is day 1. Day 1 was a fine show. It's not the best show. I wouldn't say it was the best show, best foot forward for 2022. But day 1 is here. Day 1 is done and over with. That is your WWE Day 1 review. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys on Monday for another shit-filled episode of Monday Night Raw. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.